Good morning, and get ready with me to go to church for the first time in a while. I actually went to church on Thursday, but I haven't been to like a Sunday morning service outside of like Easter or things like that in 3 years, I think it is. So yeah, get ready with me while I do that. I'm using the CeraVe Foaming Facial Cleanser first. This is my favorite cleanser. It's so easy to use and it works really well on my sensitive skin because I have very sensitive skin. Everything breaks me out just about. So when I find a product that works, I stick with it. Once I have my face and neck covered, I also use an exfoliating, I don't know what it's called. It's like it looks like a brush, but it's not. I'll have to show you in just a second. It's like scrubs your face and gets the stuff in your pores to help clean them a little bit better. So it looks like this. This is the Flawless brand. I really like it, and you don't have to charge it a whole lot. Like, I literally have charged this 3 times since 2022. Like, I never have to charge this, which I really appreciate. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why I'm going to church again and how I found my church, all that stuff. So if you follow my content, you know that I grew up Pentecostal, but I grew up in a sect that was very, very, very strict, had a lot of rules. And just overall, I can't really agree with them anymore. Nothing against the group, nothing against the people. I just don't believe their teachings are biblical from my understanding of the Bible. All that to say, I still do like the Pentecostal environment that I grew up in terms of like worship. Like, I don't think I could ever attend a church that's like you can't stand up and raise your hands. So that's really important to me. And I also wanted to find a group that I feel comfortable in. So I found this church because I know the pastor. Next, I'm using the Paula's Choice exfoliator. I don't know which one this is because there's 2 of them, but this is the lighter gray one. So anyways, I know the pastor. He's a very good person. We really like him. He used to be our neighbor. He's just a very sweet guy. And when his wife was still around, she was also really, really sweet. And they are very much still Pentecostal, but not nearly as strict as the one I came from, which again is kind of what I was looking for. But it's kind of hard to find that in my area. A lot of the Pentecostal churches are very strict in my area. Next, I'm going to be using the ABIB Airy Sunstick Smoothing Bar. I really like this. This is brand new. I got it as my first PR, which was really, really cool. I'm having a lot of trouble with my hands today. So if I seem like I'm struggling, I'm shaky and just not doing well. But it's okay. So this is a sunscreen. And it has a curved C shape. It's like a gel, and you don't have to use a lot of it. If you use a lot of it, your face will get greasy. It is a SPF 50+ and water resistant for 80 minutes. And since it is curved, it's really easy to just use on your face. And you only have to do like 1 to 2 swipes per area. And if you're not aware, you always need to be doing your skincare on your neck and preferably on your chest, but it's kind of hard for me to. And the reason is that if you don't, your face is going to age well, your neck and chest will not, and you will look insane. If you don't believe me, look up pictures. I promise it's real. So now the last step of my skincare routine is my CeraVe Intense Moisturizing Lotion. Again, when I find a product that works, I stick with it. And this is one of my tried and true products that I just don't think I could ever stop using. I really love CeraVe, and if they ever want to sponsor me, I would be so down. Right now, it's really cold where I'm at, and I don't know why. It was literally like 85, 90 degrees all week, and then yesterday and today it dropped. It was 35 this morning. Ridiculous. So we are going to move on to my hair. I'm going to be very, very basic this morning. I am just going to straighten it and call it a day because I don't feel like doing anything with it. And when I say call it a day, I'm probably going to like put it in a claw clip half up. So if you've seen my videos, you know how I do mine. But if you haven't, stick around and you will learn. To straighten my hair, I have a Wavy Talk straightener steaming brush. I love this thing. I've only had it 2 weeks. I was influenced to buy it from one of my favorite hair influencers on TikTok. And she was right. She was not lying. It's a fabulous tool. I absolutely love it. So again, if you haven't seen my videos, I've been trying to find a church for a while. And I'm really, really hopeful that this church will pan out for me. And that in the long run, it will be the right decision. But if not, I am open to trying other churches, of course. I don't mind following the rules. The rules don't bother me because, like, just naturally, I think it is probably because of the way I grew up, but, like, I don't do makeup very much, which was one of the rules. I don't really cut my hair all that much because I do like having long hair because I like to do fun hairstyles. And I also just don't wear a lot of jewelry. I usually just wear a necklace and my wedding ring because it gets in my way when I'm at work and I usually end up taking it off anyways. So it doesn't bother me to follow the rules. I just don't think it's right for the church to preach that they are a heaven or hell issue. That's where my problem lies, because it's not in the Bible to preach those things. At least not in my understanding and research of the Bible. Look at how well that wavy talk works with just one pass. This is a 10 out of 10. If you've never used this, I highly recommend it. I do have it in my TikTok shop, so feel free to go get it because I think everybody should have this, especially if you have any sort of texture in your hair like I do. I can use this across my whole head in about 10 minutes, maybe less. So I really, really like that. And I did want to say, I've said this before on my page, but Pentecostal hate is not welcome on my page because I do believe religion is up to everybody. And just because I disagree with it doesn't mean it's not right for somebody else. So none of my videos are ever meant to be taken as hateful or anything like that. They're just to talk about my experiences. That's all I talk about. It's perfectly okay for some people to have a different opinion. That's what makes the world work. And I don't want people in my comments hating on the religion. I've seen that a lot, and I've seen a lot of people take mine as hating, and I'm really not. I may make some satire videos because I find some of the things to not make sense, but you will never hear me say that people in the movement are dumb, that it's a cult, that, you know, nobody should be in it, whatever. It's just, it doesn't align with my personal beliefs and interpretation of the Bible. My page is not a place to really hate on anybody. That's not okay. I don't believe that it's okay to go online and bully people or groups of people and generalize people. And as I've said in several of my comments, just because my Pentecostal group is that way doesn't mean every Pentecostal group is that way. You know, wearing skirts and having long hair anywhere is a cultural thing, but I do think that it definitely could be, and I do know it stemmed from that. But we just don't live in the culture of the 1950s anymore. And that's, you know, a lot of these rules, in my experience, were created in the early 1900s to the 1950s, and then nobody ever updated them. They made sense at the time, but they don't now. And I think that that should be reevaluated with the nuances of today's world, because I myself have never looked at somebody that is a woman wearing pants or a woman with short hair and thought, oh, they're definitely not a Christian. Whereas, you know, 100 years ago, you very well might have, because of the rules at the time and society at the time. So that's just something that I think should be considered when talking about these rules as well, because you truly never know why these rules are in place, because they don't make sense in today's day and age, which is why so many of these rules also have so many different explanations, which is something I've talked about as well. You know, for example, I've heard 3 or 4 different arguments on why makeup is a sin. I have heard that Hollywood wears it, which makes it bad because Hollywood is bad and full of bad people, which I agree with. I do agree that Hollywood is bad and full of bad people. But if that's the case, then you need to boycott everything they do. You need to boycott everything they eat. And you just can't do that. because it doesn't make sense. The other reason I've heard is that you're trying to attract men in a negative way. I also don't agree with that, because most women I know that do makeup, they do it for themselves. They do it to make themselves feel good and feel pretty. I've also heard that it's vanity, which it absolutely can be to some people, and I'm not denying that. But so is the hours Pentecostal girls spend on their hair. At church camp, it was not abnormal for girls to start getting ready for a 6 o'clock service at 4 o'clock because their hair was going to take so long. That's how long makeup takes. So that's vanity, one and the same. And the last reason I've heard is that Jezebel wore makeup, therefore makeup is bad. Which also does not make sense, because Jezebel also put on perfume in the same passage. She wrote a letter. Like, she did all these other things, and in the exact same passage that she put on makeup. So unless you're banning everything in that passage, you really shouldn't ban makeup either. It doesn't make sense. So I think, a lot of those things should be up to the person. Some people, I do think, might not be comfortable wearing makeup after becoming a Christian because it does make them vain. And that's okay. Nothing is wrong with, setting a personal boundary. I myself have things that I won't do just because I feel like it's not right for me. So for example, I won't watch horror movies that are have demons or possessions, because I personally, when I watch that, I feel spiritually vulnerable. But I'm never going to tell somebody that they can't, just because I feel like, for me, it doesn't feel right. So now we're going to put my hair in the half up. I just section off my hair. And then we're going to go around the back with my hair tie. We're just going to tie it like normal. But when we get to the last loop, you're just going to leave a little loop up top. So now I'm going to take the top and just press it down and put the clip around it. That might be crooked, but I'm going to check it after the video. Lately, I've been really liking the effects of putting gel right here, because where my ears are tends to poof up throughout the day. So I just take a very little bit. I'm using the Day Cactus Fruit 3-in-1 Styling Cream. So I use a pea-sized amount, if that, that much. And then I rub it in between my hands, and I take it and I just push it back. That way it doesn't poof up over my ears, and I usually keep it over my ears. And then any leftover that I have, I put right here, because that part of my hair has baby hairs. So I kind of just push them back. And then I'm going to use my favorite hairspray, which is Herbal Essence. This one is the orange one. It's Max at 4, and it has a citrus scent. Which, it's weird that I can use this, because most products that are citric scented really bother me. I have sensitive skin, for one, and for two, I have a mild allergy to citric acid. So most citrus things have citric acid in them, which make it not suitable for me. Okay, hair is done. I'm going to go change real quick and show you my finished outfit. And here's my finished look. I am wearing a red sweater dress. I don't know where I got this from, because I've had it since 2016, so I've totally forgot. I have my Apple Watch with my watch band from Amazon, wedding ring from a local jeweler. For perfume, I'm wearing Kayali Yum Boozy Marshmallow and More Vanilla Sugar from Bath & Body Works. For shoes, I have my Cole Tweed D'Orsay from Passion, and as always, I have my 1.5-inch block locked and ready to go. So I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day.